If you perhaps find it hard to land AI agency clients and you're struggling with just, delivering on the work, maybe you have tech skills and you know how to build things and you know how to build an NA10 automation or a make automation or an advanced Zapier automation or an AI agent or do some, replace your entire dynasty with Claude Code, but you struggle with selling that to the market and if you find it hard to get clients, this video is going to help you. My name is Jan. I'm not pretending to be some fucking online guru. I am just alongside my journey as I am scaling my own AI agency, sharing what has helped me, what I'm doing, and what things I'm figuring out alongside the journey. And it's a valuable source of information for anyone who's trying to sell an AI, benefit economically from selling AI to businesses or consumers. So, not to waste your time, my dear friend, what we will cover. First of all, what we need to do. Then I'm going to tell you about the double-edged sword. Then I'm going to tell you what you need to realize about the double-edged sword and the action steps. As you see, that means pretty much fucking nothing to you right now. You have to watch the video, and I'm going to increase my the percentage of people that are watching the videos and how do you call it, the watch rate, or what is the metric called on YouTube for how long people watch it? I think watch rate or something. No, but seriously, let's get to the point. So what do we need to do? Look, in order, like, if our goal, which I would assume it is, of yours is just to make money, like from AI, right? Just profit and be happy because you're profiting from AI, like myself, I'm doing. That's my goal. I'm not saying it's not like it's normal that you want to benefit economically. Until you get to like seven figure level, from my understanding and people I've spoken to, you really need honestly three things. You need marketing, right? Which is just pretty much grabbing attention from the people that don't know you. Then you need sales, which is a process of turning this attention into money in your bank account. And then you need delivery, right? Which is essentially like going out and building the automation, right? And why is this Miro workflow not cooperating with me? Thank you. Okay, amazing. Look, it's pretty much, you hear in the step number one, you get an attention from the market of the people that do not know you. Then you go and convert this like attention into money, right? And then you go and you deliver this project. And I think you're starting to see where I'm going with this. If the intro of this video resonated with you, then perhaps you are one of those species whose prefrontal cortex is so incredibly developed that you are this tech savage that can do things that I quite frankly cannot sometimes comprehend in terms of building tech, building AI, building automations, etc. And perhaps you are good at it. And let's say if here you are good, right? At the skill of AI, you've spent a lot of time, I don't know, mastering NA10. NA10 is something that I love. And you know how to build AI and you understand LLMs, right? And you understand the entire stack needed to build some sort of solutions. And you are very good at it, but you don't necessarily understand marketing, neither do you understand sales. Then it doesn't really matter how technically good you are, you're going to struggle, right? If maybe that's resonating with you, right? Because I've seen people, I actually recently spoke to a guy who is just fucking brilliant. Like, technically speaking, he was, I could just accuse him of being a fucking alien or something. How well technically versed he was, and how well ingenierically he could look at problems, think through them, and come up with a solution and explain some sort of tech that we can modify and do something. And I was like, what the fuck? How are you so just incredible at this? And he said, yeah, just spend a lot of time. But the point is, he was actually struggling with selling that. The reason he was struggling with selling that is because perhaps his market had not even 5% of understanding of the tech he had. So what we need to do is we need to understand marketing, then we need to understand sales, and then we need to understand delivery in order to build like a successful business, right? And then obviously you have ops, which is just operations, but that's probably not gonna happen to you unless you start to make some, larger sums of money. I mean, not larger, but just, sums of money that are actually going to lead to more clients, which is more chaos in the business. And obviously that's what I wish you, but for the sake of like getting to like 10, 20K, that's probably going to happen. So look, the problem is, so right now we have covered, because I'm going to, be following the script. We have covered the first point, which is what we need to do. We need to understand all three pillars. And perhaps if it's starting to resonate with you, that maybe you're great at building automations, but you don't need, like, if somebody were to ask you, like, how could you do marketing and sales, like, what is it about? Maybe if you were to not be able to answer that, perhaps that has, clicked in your mind that, hey, that makes sense. Because what we need to do as AI agency owners, AI developers, is just learn marketing, learn sales, and learn delivery, and make money, right? And the double-edged sword is that the AI automation agency and the, I'm gonna write AI agency, right? The AI agency space is famously known for being about AI. Who would have thought about it, right? No, but seriously. The thing is, the AI space is heavily like dependent on the word AI and on the trend of AI. And the problem is that I would say like 75%, or from my experience, of people focus too much on AI, and we forget that we are still in the business. Like we are still dealing with laws of economy, like we're still dealing with business, we're still dealing with humans, we're still going to be dealing with HR, we're still going to be dealing with taxes and law and everything. Just because we sell AI and it's a new industry does not change the fact that we are still running a business, right? And the thing is here that the double-edged sword is the people that are becoming better and better at AI, they have a higher competitive advantage because they can deliver better quality products, right? But the double-edged sword becomes that if you are better at AI, you may not necessarily be better at an AI agency, right? Because it's still a business, right? Like, for example, if you're running a B2B business or a BTC business, right? The AI is only the service. It's like only 33% of this three-step process, which is obviously like a simplified version. But the thing is, the better you become at AI, does not necessarily mean that you're going to become better at AI agency, because AI agency requires you to have the full stack of skills and not only AI. And for some reason, people are just gravitating towards only AI, like learning, okay, how do I prompt? How do I use APIs? How do I fine tune the models? What is an NI10? How do I use Make? How do I use Zapier? How can I use Claude Code to replace my entire dynasty and my girlfriend and myself? And the more you focus on the tech skills, the better you become at delivering, but the less time and less like adapted you are to the market. That's the double-edged sword, because the better you are at delivering products, very often the worse you become at sales and marketing, because you kind of get like your mind and your brain is starting to operate in this weird like environment of tech and advanced AI things, which to 95% of humans mean nothing because they don't understand. Like, you have to understand, the reason any agency will make money is because you deliver something that somebody cannot do themselves, like this to a degree, or maybe they can do, but you can do it better or faster or cheaper, right? But the more technically well-versed you become, ironically, the harder it is to run the agency, because you still have to deal with humans, and the more technically developed you are, the harder it is to communicate, because the more you start to associate yourself with all of those keywords, tech jargon and everything, the harder it is to communicate. I think you're starting to see where I'm coming with this, with a double-edged sword. The better you become at AI, ironically, the harder it is to run the agency, because if you put all the eggs in one basket, which is just becoming very good at AI, which is the delivery part, does not necessarily mean you're going to become better at the agency. So I think you're starting to understand where I'm coming with. This is the double-edged sword. The tech skills, the higher they are, ironically, the harder they make the AI agency to be. So what you need to do, essentially, very simple, what you need to do is remind yourself that because you are this tech genius and you can understand those things and you can build things, does not mean that the people you speak to actually get what you're trying to say. So what you really need to do is go back to the fundamental, which is the human, either like if you're working B2B, you're still dealing with humans, whether that's the executive board, or if you're working with like highly corporational level companies, or that's like some smaller brick and mortar business, like you're still dealing with humans. So go back to the human. Think about the end customer. Think about who is going to be dealing with the automation and with you. If you're going to be understanding look, what you essentially have to do is point all of your attention at your customer and what he wants and how do they think and what is his level of understanding, what language does he use, what does he care about. The more you understand the person you're actually trying to sell, and the more you adapt yourself to their language, their way of thinking, and adapt your product to how they want to perceive it, not in a manipulative way, but in the sense that if you are selling, let's say, as an example, to drill this point, if you're selling an AI voice, and you're increasing sales conversion rate. Maybe not sales conversion rate, because you cannot really increase sales conversion rate, but let's just say you're increasing show up rate by 8%, right? instead of maybe saying, hey, we're going to actually, sorry, what we're going to do for you is we're going to connect this retail AI, multi-level AI workflow with a fine-tuned models from 11 labs, and then we're going to use an API to connect to your Facebook lead center as lead center, and we're actually going to have a dynamic agent that's going to be adapted to the lead, and then the information in the Facebook lead center, like maybe instead of saying that, you can say, hello, Mr. Prospect, how are you currently converting leads? X, Y, and Z way. Okay, and how long does it take? Okay, and what is the conversion rate? And do you think that's impacting the conversion rate that you're actually not calling them on time? Oh, you think so? Look, here's an AI agent. Here's the proof it works. Here's the proof why I'm not gonna take your money away and run away. And here's why you can trust me with dealing with your Facebook lead manager, for example. Do you want it? Like, I hope you're starting to understand what I'm trying to say. What you have to do is go back to the human you're dealing with. Just because you understand AI and all the tech and everything does not mean that the person you're actually dealing with gets it. More often than not, they don't. So the simpler your language becomes, and the more it becomes about the human, their pain, how you help them in a simple way, and you can just literally say AI system. And if you say, hey, this is an AI system, you only say this is an AI system that does X, Y, and Z, and here's the proof it works, and here's why you can trust me, and the proof and trust are in check because you actually properly deliver the argument, the person will say, okay. Which is ironic because you would think as a technical person, of course, if I were to be dealing with an AI company, I would ask them about every single tech details. But the problem is, the people you deal with more often than not, they don't care about AI. We care about AI because we sell it. But the people we deal with, they don't. 8 out of 10 people you deal with, they don't give a fuck about the AI. Like, yeah, it's cool, and they will log on Claude and say, oh, that's actually interesting. They know they have to use it, but technically they don't fucking care. They run their business. Especially I'm dealing with B2B people, right? You can be dealing with B2C, so probably, I don't know how it is with B2C because I work B2B, but the point is, go back to the human. What do they want? Why they should trust me? And how I can deliver in language that what I'm saying, what I'm selling is actually working. And that's it. You don't need to explain tech, right? So the action step, because I don't want to just leave you with, ranting about how, I know hopefully I don't insult anyone. I have the best intention at heart of every single person that watches the videos to just deliver a message, right? Because I want to help you. And sometimes harsh messages to deliver that you should care about them, not about you. And the fact that you know all about tech and AI does not mean you have to explain that to them. The action step is literally very simple. Go back to that human and do something called avatar. What I mean when I say avatar, literally grab a piece of paper and write down everything you know about that human being, your niche, and your ideal client profile. Or you can also, look, let's not pretend we are not AI agency owners. Go to Claude and literally say, hey, I'm building an avatar. Go and research me everything possibly to know about this avatar. Because if you don't take any calls, you're not going to have anything to, rewatch to understand the avatar. So you can just go and research Claude. How can we deliver this message to them? What do they care about? Build me an avatar. How do those people communicate? And adapt every single marketing message, whether you do emailing, cold calling, DMs, ads, content, adapt it to the market and how they understand it. So you can deliver, explain in their language what you're trying to communicate, because they don't care about AI, and they most often not brutal message. They don't even care about us. Like, unless you provide value, they don't really care about you. Neither do they care about me. So the only way, bro, we can go and make some money with AI is adapt our stimuli and how we communicate to their market, and then actually deliver on the back end technically what we need to deliver. But the best way, hands down, is to take calls with those people, like sales calls or introduction calls or consultancy calls, and rewatch them back. Like, how do they say, what do they care about, what is their language, and rewatch every single call, and you'll get a better understanding of the industry. And then if you adapt your message to a not technical person, and you prove to them, hey, you can trust me, I'm gonna deliver on the problem you're trying to solve here, give me money, and then you actually deliver, that's great. And the AI backend, just leave it for us. Like, we can deal with the backend, and most of the people don't care. Look, if you want to see content like this where I just share things and rant about certain topics, then we're gonna crack some jokes along the journey, because I don't want this to be too serious. As you see, I'm just wearing $20 earbuds and I have a black t-shirt, no serious business content. Yeah, like, if you want to, just see more content like this, just drop the sub, and I'm gonna be sharing more stuff as I'm gonna be scaling my agency. And and learning alongside it. So it's a valuable source of information. If I were to be running an AI agency, I would subscribe. You know, how persuasive was that message? Probably right now people will subscribe. No, look, by the way, this is a habit of my content. I'm gonna clean the board before I stop the content. So I should give you a CTA. I already did, but you can subscribe. And yeah, guys, remember we are dealing with humans, right? We are dealing with humans at the end, and we need to understand those humans, and that we can actually deliver. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully that helps. Take care.